I just went on a bit of a tangent there, and I was about to go into a completely different topic and then realized that could be a second video. So this is the second video inside the tractor here, where it's nice and warm and I'm not freezing my hand off, because my iPhone likes telling me that if you put your iPhone outside in -10, I don't have a battery. So here we go. So a lot of people that farm, a lot of people like using concrete and like feeding cattle on concrete. And I have this yard right here that is concreted. And a lot of people would wonder why I wouldn't use it, why I wouldn't just feed there instead of feeding over here on dirt. And I'll see if I can actually get on it and show you guys what's going on it, because you know what, the camera will probably die if I do that. What happens is concrete is smooth, so it's great for when you're mucking out. That's when it really shines, because then the equipment doesn't sink or anything like that. I find difficulty comes when it becomes like this and it's -10, -20, and you get a warm spell and it thaws, and then all that moisture from the snow turns to water, which turns to ice. And the entire thing turns into a skating rink. And cattle don't really have good grip on their feet. Their feet are pretty much smooth on the bottom. So when they hit ice, it's a mess. So that stuff is very easy for them to grip. Even snow is a lot easier for them to grip. So I don't feed on concrete for that reason, because it's a lot grippier on snow and a little bit of ice, but it keeps them from falling. Because when you have a cattle fall, if they bruise themselves, if they damage their feet, you get what's happening to that white cow right there. She fell, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago, and she's still never really the same. And it's too expensive. It's too expensive to fix. It's way easier to prevent it and just have them so that they're on the straw. And what I do when it's really icy like this, because we did have a thaw, that's why I brought this up, is I make sure that they have plenty of hay in front of them, and I make sure that the paths they need to get to are not that icy. Like, the only thing in there that they'd want is maybe that there's let's see if I can zoom in. I was trying to get them to get exercise, so I was putting this this right here is my salt block. I was trying to get them to get some exercise, and so I would have the salt block separate from the water, separate from the feeder, so they're actually walking around and they're not just pounding through hay as bad. But I don't like them getting iced up either. So what I do is I might move that salt block back out here so that they're not walking around as much and not slipping, and keeping them safe, right? You have to look at these guys like investments. You can't just you got to try and keep your risks down as much as possible. Also, anybody that's nervous about them being cold, as I said, they can lie down and the wind blows over them. Cattle hide is also very thick, so it doesn't really affect them as much as us. So they don't have the issues of getting cold. Like, I've seen them in -40 and they're doing just fine. The only thing that does seem to affect them is moisture. So if you get freezing rain and that type of stuff, they eat through more hay, and they're burning more calories to keep warm. So what I do is I have this little place right here where they can sneak in and they can get warm. So they can go in there anytime, 24/7. We used to not have this, but since I've run it, we've had it open for them, because it does help them out. Usually they go in there in the night because they don't trust me. They think I'm gonna lock them in there, which I do when I load them, when I load calves to go. So they do that. They go in there in the night, and it just keeps them have the opportunities. Also, because I have so many different shaped buildings and so many different facing different ways, they can get out of the wind pretty much anywhere on this farm. I've seen a lot of guys that have windbreaks, and I am on top of a hill, so windbreaks would help. I am looking at seeing, actually, if you see that tractor right there, that's a little piece of antique memorabilia. That's actually a cockshot. But on the other side of that cockshot, I was looking at putting a strip of pine trees across there and creating a natural windbreak through trees. I've seen a couple guys do it in Minnesota, and it seemed like a great idea because it stops the wind, and if you can stop the wind, it kind of creates a little warm spot. So I was looking at doing that. So that's where we're at, guys. answering, me trying to keep off the tangent. I like to talk, so it just keeps flowing out of me. That's why I don't feed on concrete. That's why I feed on top of my own land. Ideally, maybe I should have done what some of the other guys do and put it on tilled land. Like, I probably could till this strip and feed them on that, and then just basically put a crop through here. The problem is it's kind of like the inside of an octagon here. So it connects about 4 or 5 fields. So on the bottom of this hill right here, it drops down, and there's still land down there that's feedable. And everything isn't isolated off. It also connects to that field out front, and it connects to my back fields in the back. So I can't really chop it off as much as I would like. I probably could if I had the fencing, but that would be in a later day. I will hopefully this year get into fencing again and replacing it, because if you can see behind that barn right there, oh, this fencing is all finished. So it's just enough. I have all my exterior fencing pretty good, but that's a hint for new videos. I'm really hoping to increase that fencing. And behind that barn, the plan is to make that my finisher lot. So that will become a finisher lot behind there, and then I can do 2-stage weaning, and I can have it so that all my calves, my heifers, as well as my steers, because I'll steer out, will finish back there, and then I can keep my cattle up here and feed them independently, and that way they're not fighting as much for hay. Because what you'll find is the young calves are always kind of fighting to get hay because the big ones kick the little ones out of the way. It's kind of their natural pecking order. So that's what I'm planning, guys. So I feel like my description didn't do it justice. So this is, you can see, I had warm weather a couple days ago. Larson Valley Farms talked about it a little bit too. They had the same weather pattern that came in, and it warmed it up, and it went up to about 6 degrees here with wind. And it was just, I was gonna work on things outside thinking, oh yeah, it's a warm day. It rained. I finished this door. I'll show you guys. But what I was saying here is, yeah, imagine if you're a 1,000-pound animal here and you're gonna walk on that. It's a skating rink and you have narrow little legs and smooth feet. All that's gonna happen is you're gonna slip and slide. But I just wanted to show you guys with the snow. It's slippery, it's crappy, and the last thing you want is a narrow-footed, legged animal walking on it and slipping, because it's just going to cost you money. So that's why I don't use concrete, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you have any experience on this, or you want to give a little more insight on something, or how you guys run it, or how you guys do it, I'd love to hear about it. That's kind of how I learn on here. You see how different guys do it, and you go, could I apply that to my operation? Would that work here? Would that not work here? It's a kind of a cool way to learn. I talked about it before about farmers on YouTube, and it's amazing how you can pick up little things, little things, and look at things that worked well in the past that for some reason people stopped. Why did they stop? Or things that are new concepts that are beneficial that could really help your operation. Little things like, for me, strip grazing, looking into strip grazing, or more efficient ways to use hay, or all this stuff. It's cool stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Keep farming.